That's the hood where I'm from. But it's bigger than that. We live on a planet, in a solar system, in a universe. Not just on a block. Be aware of that.
Alright, YouTube. Said I was gonna do it. Said I was gonna make the video. I'm back. I told you. Let's go. Let's go. King 2 here. Let's go. New Age Alpha Comics. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Moonfall. That's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing. I'm gonna give a review. Give a short review. And then I'm going into spoilers. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm gonna start off regular. I'm gonna start off regular for y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know when it's time. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to leave. But for the most part, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I gave it a thumbs up. You know, it's a Roland Emmerich movie. So, you know, it's basically, I mean, a natural disaster type of movie. You know, world-ending type of movie. That's what he do. You know, Independence Day. You know, Day After Tomorrow. That's his top movies right there. But he got other movies that's very good. You know what I'm saying? But this movie, you know, the plot, it goes all over the place. But boy, it hit you at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Because it had me worried in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, it went somewhere and then it didn't. And then I thought it was going to go and then it stopped. And so I was just like, oh, okay. But for the most part, it was a good movie. And it led up to, you know, to a climax and then another climax. And then you was like, oh, okay, you good. You know what I'm saying? I got what I needed. But nah, but Halle Berry, you know, she definitely did her thing. You know, she played her part. You know, and Patrick Wilson, you know, he definitely played his part. I mean, he was the lead, so he played his part. He went through his ups and downs in the movie, and he persevered and he performed when he had to, you know. But the comic relief, that was, you know, John Bradley. You know what I'm saying? John Bradley, he played CJ. He was really the comic relief of the movie. You know what I'm saying? And he had a very important part of the movie. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all three of those actors, they worked together in the movie very well. You know what I'm saying? Even though like they was like estranged, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was good. It was good. It was good. I got my money's worth when I went, and that's all it's about. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you got your money's worth, that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's what it all comes down to. It doesn't matter what critics like it or dislike it or give it thumbs down. What the individual, as long as you walk in that theater and you watch a movie and you enjoy it, who cares what everybody else think, right? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I went in there, I enjoyed myself. You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all that it was a good movie. You know what I'm saying? They handled. I mean, they performed. You know what I'm saying? The plot was a plot that I needed to see. You know what I'm saying? And it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened. So now, like I said, it ran well. It was a 2-hour movie. So, I mean, you definitely had to get some food. I mean, it was okay. Running time to me, it wasn't like I was in there forever. You know, it was good. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I was a drag or something. Nah, the movie flowed. You know, it had its quiet parts, but it flowed. It wasn't like dead and then boom. No, it was throughout the movie. It was action and suspense and plot. And then, you know, it was good. It was good. Like I said, I'm not gonna say that it was good. But now, like I said, I can't even wait. Like I said, I just want to get to the spoilers. Like I want to get to the spoilers. Like I said, I can't do it no more. I mean, it's only 4 minutes in. I can't. I said I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. So if you ain't see this movie, it's time to get off the set. Just get off the set now, because I gotta talk. You know what I'm saying? I have to. You know what I'm saying? I gotta run this movie down. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta run it down. You know what I'm saying? I got to. So, I'm telling you right now, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So now, get off the set. Get off the set. So now we start now. All right. So the movie comes on. You know what I'm saying? They in space already. You know, Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, they in space already. You know what I'm saying? They're fixing a space tower, you know, a home base in space. They just fixing it up, you know what I'm saying, doing some repairs or something. Halle Berry's inside the shuttle, you know, And Patrick Wilson, he is, he outside. So he outside with another friend of his, and they out there, and they're working on something. And next thing you know, it's this big old swarm, like a swarm of like glass, black glass, just comes out of nowhere and just destroys everything. Just like destroys the whole space station, destroys the shuttle. He had to come and try to grab his man, and his man ended up getting blown away. You know what I'm saying? And he went to the shuttle. Halle Berry got knocked out in the shuttle. So he went to the shuttle, and he saved the day. He closed the shuttle up, got the shuttle right, and landed the shuttle. He landed it and saved her life. You know what I'm saying? But when he got back, NASA and the government, they came at him like it was his fault, like he did something wrong, like he told them like what he seen, and they was like, you're lying. And then you're lying. No, that didn't happen. And so he got disbarred, he got fired, everything. And Halle Berry was asleep. I mean, she was knocked out the whole time, so she didn't see anything. So she only reported what she seen, so she didn't really back him. So she went against him, like in his eyes. And so, and this started off in 2010, you know what I'm saying? So now it goes like 10 years later, you know what I'm saying? 10 years later after that, Patrick Wilson, he's homeless. I mean, basically homeless. He living in like one little room, and he got eviction notices, and the landlord's knocking on the door, trying to serve him. He sneak out the back, you know what I'm saying? Get out of there. I respect that. But Halle Berry, she has a son now, and and she's like in an administration role at NASA. So now everything is going regular, but obviously Patrick Wilson's son is grown now. He had a son like that was like 8 years old in the beginning of the movie, and obviously 10 years later his son is 18, and his son kind of wild now because his son kind of missed his father. You know what I'm saying? So he was kind of like a renegade. So his mother remarried to Michael Pena from Ant-Man. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was wild. Like, so he was the stepfather, and so obviously the son was feeling some type, and he was joyriding, and he ended up getting locked up on national TV. His ex-wife called him and told him to turn on the TV, and he seen his son locked up. And so now he he tried to get him out, things like that, and the judge revoked the bail, and such, little small things like that. So now, he's trying to get his son out, but this is where it was going. So I'm just like, what's going on here? I'm thinking I'm here to see Moonfall. I'm here to see, you know what I'm saying, the moon come. You know what I'm saying? So nothing's really going on right now. So he's trying to get his son out, and that's not working. They remand him. They lock him back up. Now, and it shifts to JC. Now, JC works in a college. He's a janitor, and I think it's California, UC Irvine. I think it's UC Irvine, but he was a janitor in there, and a professor that was dealing with the moon. He was like a astrologist or something like that. And what he was doing is he would sneak into this guy's office every night and steal his data. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up going in there to steal some more data. And he ended up seeing calculations of the moon. And the moon kind of, it went off its orbit. You know what I'm saying? So he's seen it. So when he got the paperwork, he's seen it like, oh snap, the moon is off its orbit. And so now I'm saying, okay, now we talking now. You know what I'm saying? Now we talking. So now at the same time he finding this out, and at NASA, obviously they see what's going on. So they're like, oh, yo, the moon is off its orbit. So Halle Berry is like, yo, what we got to do? And they're like, we don't really have anything to do. You know what I'm saying? And so Halle's like, okay, fine, this is what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? You had an administrative guy there, and he just like, I never seen this before in a movie. Like, he just like cowered out. Like, he just like basically brought in the towel, like called his peoples up and said like, yo, I'm out. You can take my card, you take my clearance. I'm like, whoa. So he leaves, and Halle Berry's in charge, just like that. Like that, you don't go through no protocols, no nothing. But like I said, it's cinema. So that's how cinema plays. He just gave her the clearance and everything. So she's like the top dog now. So now she goes in there and she's looking for the evidence. She tells her to go down to the stock room to get the evidence. She goes down there, and then you got a small cameo from Donald Sutherland. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he comes in, he about to blow his whole brains out. But turns out NASA knew the whole time that Patrick Wilson was right. You know what I'm saying? About the aliens, about all that. So he was right the whole time. NASA knew it. They covered it up. They even knew, like, I'm gonna go too far in, but they knew a lot more. So now they all get together, and she like, you know what? We gotta find Patrick Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Basically. And now Patrick Wilson is thinking, you know what I'm saying, I don't want no parts of nothing. I just want my son out of jail here. That's it. Now JC, he got the information. And so he's trying to figure out who to bring the information to. He tried NASA, but it didn't work. So then he sees, you know what I'm saying, Patrick Wilson, like, yo. He knows that he was supposed to be at a museum to teach some kids. So what he did was he impersonated him so he could meet him at the museum. And so when he got in there, he seen JC as teaching the kids. He's like, what the hell are you doing? And so JC like, look, the moon is off its orbit, trying to show him the paperwork. And so he like, I don't want to see it. I don't care. They got him out of there. And then when they got him out of there, you know, you saw all types of stuff was going to happen. Like you just saw seeing flooding and all types of crazy. The special effects was great. I mean, the special effects was magnificent. I mean, I had no problem with the special effects. It did not look fake. It did not look whack. It was good. It was great. The special effects was good. And, you know what I'm saying, all types of hell was breaking loose. I mean, trucks flying. I mean, water was just floating in the air. People was taking off. It was crazy. It was madness. You know what I'm saying? So obviously the world knows something's up now. You know what I'm saying? And now they broadcasting like, yo, the moon is off its orbit, and the moon is literally going around. It's coming closer, but it's orbiting the planet, and it's getting closer and closer and closer until it just come right in. And the gravitational pull is just making the world go haywire. I mean, people was flying, everything was going on. You know what I'm saying? So now all hell breaking loose. So now Halle Berry, she, you know, miraculously just finds everybody at the house. You know, this is cinema now. You know what I'm saying? These are the parts that I don't like. You know, it was just like, boom, they there now. They found everybody now. Like, huh? Patrick Wilson, he wasn't even home. He doesn't nothing. He came to the museum. They know he there, so obviously they come and get him all, bring him in. Now she tell him like, I need your help. So you know the old cliche, I don't care about nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I just want my son. And she like, we need your help to save the world. You know, that type of cinema stuff. And so he like, oh no. And then she like, listen, if you don't help us, your son is gonna go. Like, so obviously he's on board. And so now they trying to figure out what they want to do. Obviously, you know, the government, they don't care. They want to nuke everything. So they want to nuke it. That's all. They want to nuke it. So she like, no, if you nuke it, we all gone. And so he like, what about the EMP? So now they want to use an EMP on the nanotechnology, because that's what they found out. It was a technology. It was not, I'm saying, something that's organic, because they found out, they sent the probe over there of a spaceship to see what was going on. They sent a ship straight to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And when they went to the moon, they dropped the probe down inside the hole. This thing went to the moon and dug a hole deep into the moon. So they wondered why this thing dug a deep hole into the moon. And so they bought a probe, they drop it in, and when they drop it in, here come the nano. It comes right out, and it kills the whole crew, destroys the ship. And now they started figuring out like this thing has some type of sense. It senses organic life. If you turn on a machine, it senses the machines. So therefore, this thing is like aware of them, and it was programmed to destroy humans. So now they just had me thinking like, wait a minute. So you telling me this thing was programmed to destroy humans? So it's like, who did it? And so now, you know, my mind is like, who did it? Who is the guy or species or race or intelligent beings that programmed this to kill us? I'm saying that's all. Now I'm just waiting for that. My whole mindset now is waiting for answers now. I'm waiting for the origin. That's what I do. I want to see the origins of everything. So that's all I'm on deck now. Now I'm serious now. No more. I'm on deck from here on out. But bottom line is, I don't want to give too much of the movie away after that. But the plot at the end, this is what I'm going to talk about. You know, they talked about, well, JC, you know, he talked about mega structures. You know what I'm saying? And I had to look that up. You know, mega structures. You know what I'm saying? Artificial, you know, like moon. Like they said the moon is artificial, but it's a mega structure. It was holding something that is at its core. You know, and you know, we had to have a lot of instances with the moon. You know, even in the movie they talked about some true life instances and some fictional instances, but they was talking about how the moon is hollow. You know, and that's a fact. I'm saying the moon is hollow. So, and they was talking about something in it. I'm saying so. The nano is obviously it dug down into that hole. So we at that point in time we thinking like the nano is one with the moon, like the moon and the nano is together. Like you thinking like, oh, that's a weapon. You know what I'm saying we're not even thinking like nothing else. So by the time you know they had to make a launch to get back out to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And I at this point in time it was all hell breaking loose, earthquakes, everything going on. But finally they got up in there, got out to the earth, but they had to wait until the moon got closer because they only had 2 engines. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, they ended up getting there and getting to the moon. Once they got to the moon, and the nano swarm came and chased them, but they ended up turning their ship off so that the nano didn't sense them. So they got by him and they went to the ship, but they had to turn it on to navigate. And when they did that, here come the swarm. But when the swarm got to him, a door opened and something blasted the swarm away from them, and they end up going into this door, and it closed on the nano swarm, and the nano swarm was trying to bang through it, boom, 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 but he could not get through it. He could not get through that door. And so now I was really confused. Like, wait a minute, the moon helped the humans. You start thinking like, wait a minute, who's in the moon? And they showed when they went inside the moon, man, they had these structures, these spears, and yo, it was a white dwarf inside the moon. It was crazy, like a white dwarf planet inside the moon with a whole big mega structure on top. It was rotating spears. I mean, it was like the vision was crazy, man. It was just like you just be like, yo, you just like, I'm really into the movie now. Like you that's all you thinking, like I'm really into this now. And then they when they got to the room, when they got past that door and crashed, they ran out of oxygen, like, and they all passed out. But then you can see this green thing, it's like this light. They beamed this light on them. Obviously, the light brought them back or something like that, gave them some oxygen. And so Halle Berry and JC wake up, and Wilson is gone. And so they're like, where he's at? And so they get up, they walk down this long hallway, and it's like a big ship. And they see all these chips and technology, like what the? And so they go in there and they closes them in, but they got to walk down this hallway. And by the time they walk down the hallway, it goes to another scene. It goes to Wilson. Now Wilson they already got Wilson talking to him. They got like a figment of his imagination where he's talking to his son, and they telling him like, basically they run down the whole history of the moon, of human beings and everything. And so they tell him basically that our ancestors, human beings now, billions of years ago, before Earth was even formulated, before Earth was even thought about being formulated, humans occupied numerous planets. They had all types of technology, and they created AI. You know what I'm saying? Artificial intelligence. Sounds like a Terminator movie. You know what I'm saying? But they created AI. You know what I'm saying? As their technology to help them out. And what happened? The AI turned on them. The AI became aware of itself, basically, and turned on them and started killing all the humans. Everybody, destroyed everything. And so the humans, what they did was at a last-ditch effort to keep the human race alive, they started building moons. It was crazy. They started building moons and hiding inside the moons. But the swarm got to the site before they could build all the moons. And only one moon was already built. And so all the moons was dead. Everybody else got killed. And so it was only one moon left. And that moon got away. And then that moon flew through space and time and everything and got to a certain spot and then bred the earth. You could see the earth growing from nothing, from a point of nothing to all the way to you know, how lava temperatures, how it was, and boiling temperatures, and back to the water came. And it just showed the whole generation of the earth, the whole evolution of the planet. Like the moon stabilized the planet. Like they knew the moons was going, they needed the moons of white dwarfs to make new worlds and new life. And that was the only shot they had. And they had that one moon to do it. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. And you know, they did it. I mean, they grew us. They regenerated the human race. But they kept saying our ancestors. It wasn't about race or nothing. It wasn't like, oh, black people or white people or none of that. They were just saying our ancestors, and it was live. I mean, you watch those parts. It was live. I mean, that made the whole movie right there for me. I mean, it was really serious, you know. So that, like I said, I mean, I don't want to give away too much. Like I said, I gave away a lot on end spoilers, but I'm not even going to tell you how it really ends. So I'm gonna leave that there. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, anybody that's seen this, that watched this video, it just knows that I love information and I love knowledge. And, you know, so that part of the movie really brought it home for me. You know what I'm saying? Action is all good for me. You know, comic relief is good sometimes. You know, but me, if I don't watch a movie if I can't get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely got something out of that. And it shows you that it's more to this than we can expect, than we think. I'm saying, like I said, we live on a planet in a galaxy. I mean, listen, it is, let me just say this. It is more planets in the sky than sand on a beach. Little grains of sand on a beach. You understand? So there's no way that we the only motherfuckers out here. There's no way. No way. And that's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? Moonfall, thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? King 2, out.